Hi folks. So, okay. I was just doing some washing up and a few things are going through my head, so I thought, okay, I can do a video about that. Good point. Well, one of them was, why do I talk a lot? And I do. Why do I talk a lot about how we've got to where we are right now? I mean, it is a good point, isn't it, really? Why do I talk so much about that? Because, yeah, we are where we are, and do we need to necessarily understand how we got here to deal with the issues that we have now? Not necessarily, but the root, quite often the root of the problem is something that we need to get to. So, of course, therefore, understanding that the root of the church as it is right now were the events happening all those years ago, including, and one of the most important events was Times magazine asking the question, is God dead? And what happened after that, and what the church did after that. Now, as I say, we get an understanding of what the church did after that from the Jesus Revolution, from that movie. Now, that movie, to a certain degree, and certainly people since then, tend to try to glorify a lot of what was going on then as being so wonderful and so... But the problem is, yeah, if you look at it from the point of view that hippies come into the church and flower power and all of the culture of hippies came into the church and impacted the church and the way the church would be, and that now we're facing what we're facing now partly because of that. And certainly that had a major impact because, yeah, the changes in the church happened at that time. And we see in that movie the young people that were coming into the church, and they weren't the people that are left, and they weren't looking like the people who had left. They looked very, very different. The way they spoke was very, very different. The way they did things was very, very different. And so therefore they changed the church dramatically. And after just a few years of the church from that point in time, the people running the church were those very hippies that came into the church then, because the older generation would have passed, and so therefore it would have been left to them to run the church, because of course they would have been now the elders, but still with the same understandings they brought in, because those understandings made them who they were. And like now, you know, it was of no interest to the church to deal with people's issues, so the issues came along with them, yes? Of course. So this whole idea of, you know, one of the most common things we know about hippies and the things they said was peace man would have been one of them, yeah? Peace. Yeah, the whole idea, we want peace. We're coming in for peace. Don't stress us, man. Don't stress us. Alright? Okay. And look at society now. Safe space, cancel culture, all of that. Yeah, if you're going to say anything that could offend us, we just ban you. Peace, man, don't stress us. Yeah? Yeah. So everything really links back to there. If you see in the church now you don't have God, because you don't, it all comes to the decision making that was happening then, and to looking at the world, because what they wanted, and again we understand it, we're not judging the people, we understand where they were, and where they were, the Times magazine was saying, is God dead? So of course you're in a situation where the church is in big trouble and you're going to do something. So you're doing something. Okay? And whether you're doing the right thing, well, it doesn't matter. You're doing something. Okay? Yeah, okay. Something is okay. Is that what we should be doing? Well, the problem is I didn't have time to necessarily think is that what we should be doing. And it's from their understanding. Again, we can't see it from our understanding now. It's not about having a go at those people, but it is about understanding and saying, okay, yeah, the root of where we are is that mistakes were made then under extreme conditions at that point in time. But the problem is, really, what the church should have done, we just had COVID. We just had a time when the church was shut down, when it was perfect time for church to go to God and say, okay, what do you want us to do? Yeah, church is shut down, so we can start again. We can start again from absolute scratch now. Yeah, everything we do can be completely different now. So, Father, what do you want us to do here? We had the perfect opportunity to do that. Did they do it? No. No. And to me, I was furious at that time. Because I knew church had the perfect opportunity to do that then, and they weren't doing it. I knew they weren't doing it. Because it was obvious they weren't going to do it. Because the nature. You just have to look at the nature. Because from their understanding, it ain't broke. If from their understanding it ain't broke, they ain't going to try and fix it, are they? From my understanding, it was broke, therefore it needed to be fixed, and we had a perfect opportunity to fix it. Yeah. From their understanding, it weren't broke. If it is not broke, you don't need to fix it. And this is where we are. We're still in that situation where, as far as the church is concerned, it ain't broke. It ain't good, but it ain't broke. Right? So again, in my understanding, and when I do videos and I'm raging a bit about the fact that we have a fantastic opportunity to do stuff and I'm not going to bloody do it, well, that's because I can see things from a different point of view today. So, and again, when they're in it, you have to understand when they're in it, they have to be to a certain degree deluded. And that delusion is important, because if they didn't have that delusion, they wouldn't be in it. They'd left it. Absolutely. 90% of churches would be closed down, completely empty, gone to dust, or turned to restaurants by now, if people didn't have that delusion, thinking that church was doing okay, at least doing okay. Yeah, we're struggling. We're not doing brilliantly, but we're doing okay. Yeah, this is what God wants. He's going to bring revival soon. If they didn't have that understanding, that false hope, they would never have survived to now. The church would basically be dead. Well, the church would be seen as dead. It is dead already, but it's not seen as dead. Without the delusion, it would then be seen as dead, because people would have left the church. They would have realised what it is, and this is the point with it. This is why God says, okay, leave them in that for now. Yet when there's an alternative, then their eyes can be opened. And if that's the case, then great, because there's now an alternative, so now their eyes can be opened. There's now something so much better. So let's see if their eyes are going to be open now, because, yeah, we're now in a situation where things are considerably better, so, yeah. But say, that's why speaking about all the stuff, even this, is important, because people need to understand that when their eyes are opened, why they couldn't see. See, I'm not doing this type of video talking about delusion because I'm trying to say, oh, the people in church are mad. No. I'm trying to say this is why they can't see. So when they can see, hopefully they can understand that that delusion was important, because the church would have died without that. Because that's true. It is true indeed. So there you go. So you take care. God bless. I will speak to you soon. Have a fantastic week ahead. Be a blessing, be blessed, and yes, enjoy. Have a great week. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.